Welcome to meeting number 350 of Turning Point Toastmasters Club. I am Aprajita Darbari, your Sergeant at Arms for today. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. You are now in the code of conduct of Toastmasters meeting. Please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and that it may be not possible to pause the recording. The following are the meeting rules for audience. Please be advised that any behavior that disturbs the flow of the meeting will result in removal from the meeting room without any warning. Please ensure that your noise-making devices are either switched off or on silent mode. Please speak responsibly on religion, sex, or and political uh, thoughts in your speeches. As far as possible, please keep your videos on, audios off, and applause flowing throughout. Be kind of audience for others you would like to have for yourself. For role players, TMOD, TTM, and General Evaluator, please ensure a smart audio-video check before handing over to respective role players. Role players, please rename yourself as role player, your name, your club name. You may omit the club name if you are a member of Toastmasters, Turning Point, Toastmasters. Please acquaint yourself with the role of the timer. The timer will use background change screen sharing to indicate time using one of three cards. Green means that you have reached the minimum qualifying time. Yellow indicates that it is a good time to start concluding. Red specifies that you have 30 seconds more or you will be disqualified. Individual session timings will be explained in due time. For Zoom meeting, we encourage you to use Zoom emoticons generously to encourage role players. We sincerely request you not to send chat messages to everyone or speaker on stage. In fact, refrain from chatting altogether and focus on the speaker. Reiterating, please stay on mute until specifically requested to unmute. Polls will be launched after each section and they will be closed after 30 seconds. Now, I would like to introduce the presiding officer. She is VP Education of our club, Toastmasters. Her journey in Toastmasters Club have been for a year now. Professionally, she is a data scientist. Please give thunderous applause in welcoming Neeraj Singla. Neeraj Singla, over to you.
Thank you so much, Prajita, for such a kind introduction. Please give a very big round of applause for our Sergeant at Arms, Prajita. I request everyone to pay heed at our Sergeant at Arms and abide by the rules. Today is very special day, as with your support and relentless efforts, we have reached to milestone 350th meeting of Turning Point Toastmaster. Yay! Pat yourself in the back. You all deserve it. Good, good, good. Apart from it, I want to let you know that member renewals are open. I request member and of course guest to get in touch with our VP membership Ashima and treasurer Anant for more information and renewals. Now it's the time to meet our guest. Let me check who all have joined us today. Guest, can you rename yourself with the prefix guest? I can see Gaurang. Gaurang, can you turn on your video? I think Gaurang is not on the other side. Let's move on to Nikhil. Nikhil, are you there?
Oh, yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, Nikhil. A very warm welcome to our meeting
Thank
350.
you.
Can you give brief introduction about yourself, what you do, where are you from, and what inspires you to join this meeting?
Sure, absolutely, I can do that. Hello everyone. I'm Nikhil. I am currently pursuing my PhD in urban planning, design, and policy at Politecnico di Milano in Italy. And prior to moving here, I was working with the Smart Cities mission at the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs as an advisor. And what inspires me to join this meeting is definitely connecting with youth around the world and sort of brainstorming on ideas and issues that essentially impact our everyday lives, but are something which are shaping the world at the moment. So, yeah, I think that's briefly, that's something that brings me here. Yeah,
Thank you so much, Nikhil. Looking forward to meet you in our next meetings as well.
sure.
Now, I would like to call, uh, I think on only,
Gaurang is available, by the way, now.
okay, Gaurang. Can you turn on your video?
It's already on. Is it not visible?
Now it's visible.
Yeah. Okay. Hi. Hello, everyone.
Hi,
So,
Gaurang. Yeah.
yeah, I'm Gaurang. I'm basically from Mumbai. I work as a program manager at IDFC Bank, and I'm really pleased to meet you guys. My enthusiasm to join this group came from a group member here. I am a friend of Shrishti, which is, I believe, part of this group. She kind of encouraged me to expose myself to the group and start the in proceedings in a way that you can, express yourselves and get a proper understanding of maybe the way we, interact in terms of how we express and what we express. So, yeah, I believe for me, it's a self-discovery journey also. So and I mean, that's the source of motivation for me. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Gaurang. Whatever Srishti said, that's totally true. You will see that in today's meeting. Now I would like to call Abhishek Chatterjee.
Hi Neeraj. Hi everyone. So I'm Abhishek. Uh, I'm an infrastructure expert to the government of Assam. And prior to this, I was working with the Smart Cities mission. And actually, what motivates me to come here is kind of brainstorm on topics we usually don't talk about in our everyday life, and to meet like-minded people and kind of have that conversation flowing. So that is what I'm looking forward to actually.
Sure, Abhishek. I hope you will participate in our table topic session where you will get a chance to speak on for 2 minutes on any of the topic.
Sure. Thank you, Neeraj.
Yeah.
Looking forward.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Now, I would like to call our panelist. I see. Okay.
We have Shivam Malhotra who's joined us.
Yeah, Shivam. Yeah, Shivam, please. Can you turn on your video?
My video is on, I believe.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's visible now. I
Are
don't
you
know
able to see?
whether
Am I
it's a
also
delay
audible to
from my
you?
side. Yeah, go on, please.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah. So, hi, good evening. I'm Shivam Dave. I'm currently an advisor in the Data Analytics and Management Unit of the Smart Cities Mission, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Previously, I have worked in, I was a program fellow in the India Smart Cities Fellowship Program. And after the tenure, I joined the mission as an advisor.
Thank you so much,
And
Shivam.
again, what motive?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, what inspires you to join this meeting today? And what are your expectations from Toastmaster?
What excites me to join this meeting is the opportunity to get to know the perspectives of other people of what I do. So I always feel like whatever we do, we of course have our own perspectives and our own viewpoints, but it's interesting to see and observe the viewpoints of others and learn from them. And my expectation from Toastmaster is to just be a part of an interesting conversation. talk openly.
Yeah, thank you so much, Shivam, for your introduction. Now I think I have covered everyone. Now may I
I'm left. I'm left, I
call
guess so.
us, Utkarsh, did you say something?
Shivam Malhotra.
So we have two Shivams too.
Oh,
Hi, Shivam.
I
Hi, hi, hi.
okay.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shivam Malhotra. I hope I'm not uh, uh, disturbing anyone. So I think I am joining this meeting for the second or the third time. So yeah, here I am, and I'm just like too excited for this. And let's see what happens.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Shivam.
Hi to everyone, by the way.
Everyone say hi to Shivam. Okay. Now, Nikhil, can you come?
Sure, absolutely. I'm here.
Okay, this is you. Polemy.
So Nikhil
Uh,
is from Polyme, Italy.
Oh,
yeah, that's
sorry,
right.
I got
Yeah, yeah.
confused. I thought like there is some break room and there are two people inside it.
All right. No, no,
Okay,
no, no.
okay.
Yeah, that's me. It's the same person. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay. Now let's move on to our meeting. Okay, now it's the time to kick this meeting off with a bang. Well, hold on your heads as we are about to take a trip into the world of pi. Wait. Before you think we are going to talk some complex equations, let me reassure you today. We are all about fun side of pi. Pi might be the number you vaguely remember from your high school geometry class, but today we are giving it a whole new spin. We will learn some cool facts, share our own experiences, fun and engaging way, by our club pride, who has served as area director, division director, and currently serving as district chief judge at District 41. Not only that, he's also our club's treasurer. Please join your hands in welcoming Anant Katyayni.
Thank you so much, Madam Presiding Officer. Please confirm I'm audible and visible.
You're audible and visible, Anant.
Perfect. Quick question for everyone. What connects circular shapes, Archimedes, and an irrational expression?
The answer would be pi, I guess.
Yeah, I could not have thought of any other complex answers. It has to be pi. But where do you think pi must have been discovered, invented, encountered for the first time? Imagine. Give me an approximate era, a period, a time, and I promise it will all make sense in today's meeting, in the context of today's meeting.
300 BC.
That is before Christmas or what? Achha, before Christ. Okay. 300 BC. BCE. Okay. Well, 400 years before Christ, it was very much prevalent in civil constructions in China, for sure. But pi's existence is much more earlier. Well, add one more zero to it. 4,000 years ago, before Christ, pi was encountered for the first time by Egyptians and Babylonians. The foremost architects of those era. And imagine what conversation must have been, what kind of funny conversation that must have been. The kings had insurmountable wealth in those times, the emperors, the godlike demigods, and they simply had masons at their disposal. And they simply wrote decrees. Hey, build me a pyramid, build me an rectangular palace or a square sized palace. Till this, everything was fine. The projection costs, etc., were much more in control because how difficult it must have been. You want to build a circle, a rectangular shaped palace? Fine. Length into breadth, sorted. If you want to have volume, into height. You know how much construction materials, bricks, etc. are going to be in that? Fine. One day, I'm imagining this because I was not there. A queen must have spoke to the king. I need something in the shape of a crescent, a half moon. All hell broke loose. The engineers must have been picking out their hair. How to calculate the cost, project the material consumption, etc. Everyone was at their wits' end. And that is the first time they encountered a mysterious entity called pi. Now, my second question to all of you, and this is a true check, what did you study in your 5th or 4th standard, to be honest? Engineers are not the only eligible ones to answer this. Everyone in this room can answer. I just need a common sense definition of what is pi. Don't give me a textbook definition. Don't Google at this point. No, cheating. Just tell me a common sense definition, understanding of what is pi.
Area, volume, type.
Jaspreet is banned from answering.
Pi is I think
Because we
the
measure area,
circumference.
volume, and surface level, and
Circumference
that's
of
what
the
we study
circle,
in
I think
fourth.
so.
Pi is
Okay,
a finite
I heard
number.
Pi
from
is the circumference of the
note it
circle.
down. You ratified all the definitions, formulas. Shivam, what do you say?
Pi is the circumference of the circle, what I believe.
Pi is the circumference of circle.
Yeah.
Basically, it's the
Area,
circumference
area,
divided by the
area.
diameter.
When you measure the area.
Gaurang, just a second. Gaurang, listen. Shivam, I noted down. Jaspreet, silence. Yeah, Gaurang.
Yeah, it's the circumference divided by the diameter, I think. That's
And
fine.
that is like how it was told by Chatur in Three Idiots, right? Well, not your fault, buddy.
That
Not
is
your
the
fault.
formula, I think. That is the formula.
So we are trained for the simple thing in terms of formulas. And while growing up, our education system is so much messed up that the likes of my dear Jaspreet, they remember it as maybe area, something to do with, volumes. Pi has lost its relevance. What if I give you a very, very simplistic version of what exactly pi is? And by this definition, you will be able to calculate what is area, volume, everything. And this is very simple. Pick a stick, place it in the sand, and rotate it around its center. That's it. I repeat. What exactly did these guys do? Okay. Pick a stick, rotate it in the sand at its center, something like this. You call this stick of length D. D is the length of this stick. How long circular arc it will create? That is pi times. That's it. I repeat again. You take out any straight line, a stick, a simplistic stick, place it in the sand, mark it at the center, nail it with a hammer and nail. Just like those market fairs, the town fairs, you get a firki, we call it. It runs in the windmill kind of principle. Just rotate it. Pi is actually, by definition, as Gaurang said, is the ratio of these two. I look at it differently. How big a circular arc you will make with this times pi. That's it. That is I promise, that is a true definition of what pi is supposed to be. Now imagine this. If you have a stick with the length D, how much circular, circumference we call it, how much the rounded length you made? Pi times. Pi into D. Did you not learn in the childhood that radius is half of this D? So this is double of radius. Replace D by 2R. It is pi times 2R. Jaspreet, what I mean is you just created the formula for it. The thing you were getting confused with the formula, look at this way. You have now the circular edge equal to pi times d, and d was 2 times of radius, and this is how you got your 2 pi r. That's it. So this is how you created the formula, rather than mugging up the formula and say, hey, pi has something to do with this. In fact, this is not the only thing. This is the circumference, basically the length. How about instead of this, we talk about this. This is area. If you see, it is in between a square. The blue line is the square, right? Can you see my screen?
Yes, Anand, we can see it. It's the square.
Perfect. So here is the square. And if you see, this is R, this is 2R. This is also 2R. How much is the larger square area is? 2R into 2R? 4R square? So the inside circle has to be slightly lesser than that. Similarly, we can place a smaller square inside and find out that the shaded out area is slightly larger than that. And just remove me from the spotlight. Yeah. And in ancient times, I'm talking about 4,000 years ago, this is how approximation happened. Okay, pi r square, the circular area, must be something larger than this and smaller than this. For 2,500 years, people devoted their decades of their lives to find out the approximate value to the most decimal place value of pi. Eventually, they concluded pi is incalculable. In any other kind of fixed number, it is found out that after a certain length, the numbers start repeating. In pi, it does not happen. I mean, people have literally wrote books in 18th or 17th century about how long can they find out pi before computers were invented, or even Newton's calculus was invented. They devoted decades of their lives to find out that. And after 70,000 odd places after the decimal, they gave up. No pattern was repetitive at all. And that is why pi has a few names, different names. Another name of pi is eternal number. Have you heard across this term ever? Eternal number. It will keep on going. Imagine just a circle related constant number, that's it. But pi is such a magical number that people have lost their sanity over it. In fact, there was a time when mathematicians used to teach the younger mathematician, hey, don't waste your career behind this stupid number. But people were kind of fascinated with that. Pi was truly approximated to 3.14 something for the first time by the scientist I named earlier. Do you recall which scientist name of ancient times I named in first line of my question? Yes, Trustee?
Archimedes.
Archimedes. Archimedes was not just a scientist. People believed he was a magician. Well, that was the plot of Indiana Jones 5 recently. They took time travel back to visit Archimedes, and something happened. But the fact that Archimedes was the genius who mastered the pi for the first time. And today, if I tell you the value you remember of pi is wrong, don't you? I'm sure if I put it like this, open it in Chrome and ask, this is what we remember, right? Pi must be something like this, 22/7. The value that comes out is 3.142857142857 rounded off to 6. So this is repetitive. It is not supposed to be repetitive, right? but this is what we take. True value of pi is 3.14159. Why this is relevant for us? Today is March 14th, the National Pi Day. Well, there is a pi approximation day as well, celebrated over the course of the year. Can someone tell what date that must be? Pi approximation day. If 314 is pi day. Yes. Rashti is smart one. Anyone else? If we just gave you the answer.
22 July.
22 July. Simple. This was a Kaun Banega Crorepati 50 lakh question. Anyway, yeah, the last year I was watching it live. Anyway, these two are celebrated as pi year and pi day and pi approximation day, but this does not end here. If this is the date, well, 1:59 p.m. is actual time when the pi day is supposed to be celebrated in mathematics conferences and laboratories across the world. चलो इतना तो अब थोड़ा बोर होने लगा है. अरे इतना पाई के बारे में क्यों बात कर रहे हैं? हमें क्या लेना देना पाई से? Boss, because pi has been at the foundation stone of all the civil constructions across the world for thousands of years. And today we are actually having a thrilling panel discussion on the very topic. Well, before we come into that, let me lay the outline of the whole meeting. Any Toastmasters meeting across the world that has 3 specific skills that we practice on stage every meeting. Prepared speeches. We prepare a speech along a certain objective. We work with the mentors, put in the hard yards, and deliver it to seek feedback. What if we don't get to prepare and still want to speak? Well, guests, especially Gaurang, Shivam, this is a session for you called Table Topics. We have a table topic master who will challenge you with a small, nice, speakable topic for 1 to 2 minutes. And the third session is where the magic happens. That is evaluations. In evaluations, we have a battery of evaluators who will measure our effectiveness and suggest areas of improvement on different parameters. And to facilitate that session and lead that entire team, we have a general evaluator. And the general evaluator today happens to be the president of the club, one of the most fluent and articulate speakers in this entire room, I dare say, and my good friend from Agra, Toastmaster Utkarsh. Can we have him on the spotlight, please? Utkarsh, quick audio video check.
Hello, Toastmaster Anant. Am I audible? Am I visible?
Yes, you are. Floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, distinguished Toastmaster Anant. I am truly intrigued by your theme today. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. I'm Utkarsh, and I will be the general evaluator for today's meeting. And as the name suggests, I would be keenly observing and having the general observations about today's meeting. And of course, I will moderate the entire evaluation session and give a comprehensive report on every role player's performance, including the table topic speakers. In fact, I have already begun with the process. The evaluation notes are already up and running, and I have certain feedback for our Sergeant at Arms and presiding officer, who of course went before me. I will present the entire report and not just for the Sergeant at Arms and the presiding officer towards the end of the meeting. In this endeavor, I would be aided by just not 3 pillars. Well, there would be 4. I have a wonderful speech evaluator who is Toastmaster Priyanka, who will evaluate an elective project on a panel discussion by Toastmaster Shaurya. And next up, I will now like to introduce our very 3 adept auxiliary role players, and they are none other than my tag team. Let's get to know them, please. The first role player is to check our conciseness, which is the timer. It's important that we convey our messages succinctly, avoiding any unnecessary information or ambiguity, which is why the timing becomes very crucial. And our timer for today is played by the newest member of our club, Toastmaster Ravi. Toastmaster Ravi, I request you to kindly share your screen and show us the different color cards while I explain their significance. Typically, we have prepared speeches which span from 5 to 7 minutes, but today is a very special meeting. We have a panel discussion by Toastmaster Shaurya, and the timings for that panel discussion will be 30 to 35 minutes. The timer will show a green card at 25 minutes, a yellow card at 30 minutes, and a red card at 35 minutes. Make sure that you wrap up within 35 minutes, 30 seconds in order to avoid any kind of disqualification. For table topics, they are timed for 1 to 2 minutes with a 30-second grace on the upper side only. Thus, a table topic speaker must speak for a minimum of 1 minute and a maximum of 2 minutes and 30 seconds. The timer will show green card at 1 minute, yellow at 1.5 minutes, and a red card at 2 minutes of speech time. And similarly, for the speech evaluation, it lasts for 2 to 3 minutes. That is all for the timer. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ravi. The next role will be played by Toastmaster Amit, who will make sure that our communication remains clear. And when I talk about clarity, we have to speak without any kind of filler words or crutch words. These are the words which do not add any value. Rather, they merely remain, redundant. And he'll be keeping a tab on all of our ahs, so basically any kind of abrupt pauses or any of those things which should ideally not be there in our speech. And that will be rightly be pointed by our counter for today, who today is Toastmaster Amit. Our final role player, which will help us to keep our communication correct. And it is played by a seasoned Toastmaster, Toastmaster Anshuman. Our grammarian will note down the good usages, the not so good usages of the language, as our structuring of words or any kind of grammatical errors that we make, be it the speakers or the role players or the guests. And he'll make sure that he plays a role of a cliched English teacher. It's time that I request our grammarian of the day to come to the virtual stage and provide us with a word of the day. May I request Toastmaster Anshuman to kindly come onto the stage?
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Utkarsh. I will be opening up my video in a bit due to some technicalities. However, today my duty is to share the word of the day with us today. And the word of the day, as I shared in the group chat, is emulate, which means if you emulate someone or something, you try to be like that person or thing. The word is used especially when one is trying to equal or surpass someone in accomplishment or achievement. Example usages: she grew up emulating her sports heroes. Another example will be, I want to emulate Srishti's sincerity in backing me up as a grammarian when I was not able to join on time. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Utkarsh.
Thank you so much, Mr. Grammarian. So that was a brief introduction of my team. I'll be back with my team of evaluators during the evaluation section. Until then, I'll be closely observing each one of you with keen attention. Do well and enjoy the rest of the meeting. I now pass the baton to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Anant.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator Utkarsh and your entire team. Can we have a round of applause? Excuse me. I'll prefer if you remove the spotlight so that the entire audience is visible throughout the session when we see the live recording later. We'll only spotlight the speaker per se if they wish to be spotlighted, as it is fine. So now that we know that the meeting is structured a certain way, and we have a prepared speaker who is eagerly waiting to educate us through his panel speech, why don't we invite his evaluator, Toastmaster Priyanka Mishra, on stage to read out the speaking objectives, evaluation objectives. Priyanka, are you there?
Yes, Anant, am I audible and visible?
You are audible, visible, sitting on a beach. Go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, so our speaker today is going to moderate a panel discussion. The purpose of this project is for the member to apply his skills as a public speaker and leader to facilitate a panel discussion. Timer, please note, the speech length is 20 to 40 minutes. That means at 20, 30 and 40 minutes, or General Director, you could guide how he should show the cards, because the speech length is quite long, 20 to 40 minutes. And all the best, Toastmaster. Yeah, thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Priyanka, for that instruction. Timer, please note, as discussed with the speaker before, he intends to wrap the speech around 30 minutes. So kindly show the signals at 25, 28, and 30 for green, yellow, and red. Shaurya, is that all right? Fine. Ravi, is that all right?
Yes, yes. Okay.
All right. Let's spotlight now Toastmaster Shaurya and his three musketeers. Our three musketeers, or rather the three eminent panelists, are Abhishek Chatterjee, Nikhil Shah, and Shivam Dave. You spotlight them while I read their introductions. Our first panelist, Nikhil Shah, happens to be a researcher, architect, and an urban designer. As he previously explained about himself, he is currently pursuing his PhD in urban planning, design, and policy at Politecnico di Milano from Italy. He was working previously with the Government and Public Sector Advisory People's Resource Center, Delhi, and as a research fellow at Salford University, UK, GIZ, and UNESCO Sahapedia, Delhi. His research interests are in the domain of urban design, indigenous studies, agroecology, ecofeminism, heritage conservation, and community participation. He holds a master's in urban design from the School of Planning and Architecture, Delhi. Nikhil, we welcome you over here.
Thank you, Anant, for that warm welcome. Yeah.
Our next panelist is Shivam Dave, who is currently an associate in Data Analytics and Management Unit of Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Government of India. In his role, he is involved with the capacity building of integrated command and control centers, also known as ICCCs, in 20 plus cities. He holds a postgraduate degree in electrical infrastructure from the Institute of Infrastructure Technology Research and Management, Ahmedabad, and his interests are clean energy and sustainability. We wholeheartedly welcome you, Shivam, for this eminent panel. And our thank you. And our last but not the least, the third panelist is Abhishek Chatterjee. Mr. Chatterjee is an urban sustainability researcher, is currently the infrastructure expert with Assam's Transformation and Development Department. His past roles include contributions to the Smart Cities mission and academic work at Azim Premji University. He is passionate about urban climate change and sustainability and holds a master's in ecology and sustainable development from TIS, that is Tata Institute of Social Sciences. Most welcome, Abhishek.
Thank you so much, Anant.
Moderating this panel will be our own Shaurya Chauhan. He works with the United Nations and he happens to be a globetrotter. Shaurya has a unique knack. He comes once in a while to the club and brings an explosive subject, topic, or a speech. And today is going to be no exception. Shaurya, most welcome, and the floor is all yours. Timer begin his entire timing from the first word that he utters. Shaurya, let's have a quick audio video check.
Hi, am I audible and visible to you?
Yes, and I hope you are going to rock today. All the very best.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that introduction. That took me aback a little, but thank you so much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am absolutely delighted today to welcome you all to our panel discussion on Smart City, the Indian way. Today, we delve into the nuanced understanding of what smart means in the Indian cities context and how it integrates with the socio-economic fabric of our widely diverse nation. In a world witnessing rapid urbanization, the concept of smart cities has emerged as a beacon for urban development. However, in the Indian context, the idea of smart extends beyond mere technological integration. Today, we will be discussing what the smart city model entails and how it can integrate with and possibly enhance the socio-economic dynamics that are very unique to our nation. Our panel today consists of experts, as they have been introduced, who have navigated through the realms of academia, governance, as well as grassroots organizations, offering diverse perspectives on the subject matter. Before we start, I encourage you all to keep noting down any questions that you would want to ask the panelists. Your insights and perspectives are very valuable to this discussion. We will be having an audience questions towards the business end of this discussion. So without much further ado, let us start with this discussion. All right, panelists, let us begin this discussion with the word itself. In my own experience, the term smart is often understood simply as usage of technology and digitization of systems. From your professional experience, how would you define smart in the Indian city? And what are its unique elements that distinguish it from the Western context? To begin with, let us start with Mr. Shah.
All right. Yeah, thank you for that very interesting question. And starting from the word itself, I think that's something which is very, very important and critical in developing our understanding of the ideas of smart cities mission in India and the idea of smart cities at large. To begin with, I would say that there's no one single definition, or rather, there cannot be one single definition of the idea of smartness. But that is something which, if we are mindful about how the entire idea of smart cities is beginning it has its roots essentially in the sort of larger corporations like IBM, Cisco, and bigger corporations. And it never started with something from the discipline of, say, urban planning or city making or governance at large. So in that sense, the very idea of smartness is something which is, I think, interpreted in very, very different ways in specifically Indian context. And broadly speaking, to my mind, as you were asking, what would be the idea of smartness to Indian cities? I think that would be the idea of, say, ecological wisdom, or say diversity of knowledge systems, or the strong communities and organizational capacities which we have in Indian cities. So unlike a lot of other parts of the world where people make deliberate efforts or attempts to organize people and communities, I think we innately depend on our social systems and social fabric at large. And apart from that, the uniqueness of India's smart cities mission is a lot of public space design, walkability, bicycling infrastructure, and a window of urban design which has come up in the post-independence kind of scenario. So I think that is something that sets apart India's smart cities mission versus smart cities around the world. Yeah, I
Thank
think.
you.
Yeah. I think, Shaurya, we are losing you
Shaurya's
there.
screen seems to be stuck. So
Yes.
meanwhile, in the interest of time, by the time he joins, may I ask Mr. Chatterjee to share his opinion on the same? Do you agree?
Sure.
Do you disagree?
Yeah, sure. So I completely agree with Nikhil that smart, the word smart, has a different definition for different people. So in the Indian context, if you can see the cities across India have different cultural heritage, and the history has been very unique from the Mughal Empire coming to Delhi, and in Calcutta there was the English rule for quite some time, for 300 odd years, for 200 odd years. So the uniqueness of any city, of any Indian city, lies in its history. And that is something very unique which we need to bring out in the city. And if we can maintain a balance between the nature, culture, and the economy, which is basically the three pillars of sustainability, that is where we can actually make smart cities, smart urban planning per se. So that is my two piece on the word smart. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhishek. Shaurya will pick it from here. Over to you, Shaurya.
In between, there was a network error on my side. Coming to Mr. Dave. Mr. Dave, what do you think about this?
I agree to the point shared by Nikhil and Abhishek, and both of their perspectives were so very interesting. What I'd like to add, however, is that smart in the current context is something being perceived mainly about the tech industry and how IoT works, and you have this digital infrastructure through which how you communicate and make things work. But smart, what basically would mean to me is that using solutions and processes that makes things simple and more easy for people and to the larger life kind to live. So that is my own understanding of what smart is. Moreover, into the smart cities mission, the smartness has not been defined, which was a beautiful aspect because
thank you so much
the
for your
freedom was
input.
given to the cities.
We'll be coming to the mission in just a minute. Thank you so much for your input.
Sure.
All right. So it's fascinating to see how all three of you have a different definition of smart, if I could say. I can see that since this is so diverse and everybody perceives it differently, Mr. Dave, the smart cities mission spans 100 Indian cities, which means there is massive diversity in geography, history, and even cultures. So how has the mission managed to approach the definition of smart cities?
Okay. So this mission was launched in 2015 and came with a massive financial outlay of 2 lakh crore INR. What your question is, that is an interesting question because we have 100 cities and all of them, of course, have a different geography and they are located in various parts of our nation. But what the mission did was, this was the first mission of our nation that did not have a top-down approach. 100 cities were selected through a competitive procedure, and all the selected cities had to develop their own vision documents of what smartness means to them and what they want the city to become. There were public consultations, and that also gave a lot of opportunity to the common populace of our nation to contribute their ideas. And in that way, the cities had taken up these smart city projects that directly came from people. So there are projects on public bicycle sharing that came from Ahmedabad. That's operational in Ahmedabad, and this came because the population in Ahmedabad really likes to cycle, and that is why some tracks were developed and stations were developed wherein people could use rented bikes. So that is how smartness was taken up in the mission.
Thank you, Mr. Dave. Thank you so much for that example. Also, that really helps with understanding the point. Mr. Chatterjee, as a voice for sustainable development, what are your reflections on this approach that was taken by the mission in addressing the unique challenges of the Indian cities?
Yeah. So as Shivam mentioned, that each city had its own vision document. So, for instance, Ranchi wanted to become the educational hub, and on the other hand, Nasik, where wine production is at a higher stake, so they wanted to become the wine capital of the world, of Asia at least. So we can see that different cities have their different vision and different approach to what they want their city to become. So that brings us to a very beautiful point of acknowledging that one size can't fit all. Every city is unique. Every city is beautiful in its own way, with their culture, with their planning, with their people. So we have to acknowledge the smart city, acknowledge that. And second of all, the entire administrative system was such that the funding went directly to a special purpose vehicle, which actually removed the red taping. And the projects which came there, it was very innovative. It came from the citizen, it came from the people who wanted to do something really fast. So that approach really helped for quicker implementation of certain projects. So like Shivam gave the example of bicycle sharing, that would have taken a long time for people to implement. But when smart cities came in, it was a much quicker implementation because people also wanted it. And there was this administrative structure which helped them to actually implement it. Yeah.
Point well taken. Thank you so much, Mr. Chatterjee. Talking of unique contexts, as you just pointed out, localized systems of our cities, such as informal vending, have long served the Indian city, but they don't exist to that extent in the Western context. They form an integral part of our daily lives, but it is often seen that in the development plans that come up for our cities, they are somehow neglected at some times. Mr. Shah, in this age of digitization, what do you think is the future of our informal and traditional systems in the smart city context?
All right. So yeah, to begin with, I would say that we are from this part of the world where people are inevitable part of any particular system, whatever we talk about, be it agriculture, be it informal vending, to any other kind of system. So when one really talks about greater and greater degrees of automation, as we also talked about smart cities mission sort of driving a push towards technology and sort of automation of systems, one needs to very clearly make distinction between technology as a tool and enabler versus technology as an end. So I think that is something which is very crucial, and I think with the kind of I don't know, repercussions which a lot of totalitarian systems have had in terms of, if we look at, say, farmers' protests in Delhi, or say access to land, access to rightful space in the city, one would really want to sort of bring forth the ideas of, say, safeguarding sovereignty of local communities, and also assessing the need of these digital technologies, and if they have a role to play, then in what manner, and also simultaneously at the same time having courage to even discard them if we do not feel them to be rightfully sort of addressing the needs of our cities and the needs of people first. So I think that is something which we really need to sort of be in a constant debate with. And simultaneously, I think I would say that Smart Cities mission is still an experimental kind of mission, and it's still in a very nascent stage. I mean, 7 years is like a short experiment, which we've had in 100 cities
Absolutely,
all around India. So
right.
Yeah.
Taken. And that actually brings me to a very contentious topic, and this has been debated a lot in certain circles, which is the idea that you just talked about of the role of the citizen in this smart city. So in the age of big data and AI, the citizens are, of course, shaping the narrative of the smart cities as data points. But beyond this passive contribution, is there an active role for the citizen? What role will a person sitting in our audience here today play in this smart city when we talk about it? And I would like Mr. Dave to take this question.
A very interesting question indeed. What role can the audience play in shaping the narrative of a smart city? So this still has been a challenge for us in the mission. We still talk about how do we give citizens the power to directly engage in the process of governance. And AI models, of course, have been used, and we have developed sophisticated facilities that we call integrated command and control centers, wherein this AI, ML, and big tech is used. for better service delivery to the citizens and the normal populace. However, these challenges do remain, and I can admit that we are still looking forward to sort of empower citizens even more. Currently in the mission, we have focused on citizen grievance management and taking care of very basic things such as walkability and cycling and traffic management, all of those things. But this is something we still are exploring in the mission, and would want the citizens to directly approach the special purpose vehicles. They are also open and would want a citizen's perspective.
That is great to hear, Mr. Dave, and we look forward to more platforms through which people, the citizens, can engage more with the mission itself. Going to the perspective of a person who has worked on both sides of the fence, Mr. Chatterjee, I would like you to pitch in here. You have worked with the government as well as with citizen-led organizations. We're talking about these informal settings, the citizens, and a very complex ecosystem that operates in our cities. Where do you think the battle for smart cities will be won or lost?
Very interesting question, Shaurya. So I don't think there is winning or losing the smart city game, because if you consider sustainability as the entire concept, sustainable development per se, that we are using some of the resources and then keeping it for the future generations as well. Similarly, when we look at smart cities, it shouldn't be at a point that we are doing for a larger vision and it stops there. It's evolving every time every time technology is evolving, every time culture is evolving with per se with new technologies coming in, with old forms still there. So I feel that the center of any planning, of any policy, should be the people. And when you talk about street vendors, and when we talk about much complex ideas, in our culture, there's this concept of bazaar. Like in Calcutta, in Delhi, we have this bazaar where you used to go every weekend or weekday. Now it has kind of moved to a more departmental store format, but the bazaar still remains, right? And with time, new things will come up, and we have to adapt to those new culture, and we have to make our city smarter throughout this entire time. So I feel that there is no winning or losing the game. We just have to evolve with time and bring balance to the nature, environment, and economy. That is the basic pillar of sustainability, which I have been talking about. So when we keep these three pillars in mind, I think we can keep evolving.
Indeed. Absolutely. All right. So in the interest of time, this is my last question to our panelists before we open up the discussion to the audience. If you could quickly tell me in, say, about 30 seconds, reflecting on this conversation, what role do you see the Indian smart cities playing in the global landscape of urban innovation and development? We will start with Mr. Shah.
All right. I think I would quickly sort of say that, okay, we are land of frugal innovation and something that is also coupled with ancient wisdom. So I think there's so much to learn, specifically the way Indian smart cities operated during COVID times. I think that was very, very phenomenal and unprecedented. So ICCCs, which Shivam sort of highlighted and talked about a little bit, those were overnight transformed into COVID war rooms, and they were managing the cities in a phenomenal way. So I think that is something, and along with that, so developing sort of circular city regions is something which definitely are, cities around the world can learn from Indian smart cities. Yeah, to the next one.
Thank you, Mr. Shah. Mr. Chatterjee.
I completely agree with Nikhil on this, that something like culture, the traditional ecological knowledge is which is there. That is very important, and that is something which the other cities can, the international cities can learn from them. Just to add to it, I would say the bottoms-up approach, which is very important because the cities across the smart cities across India had their own vision, which is something which other cities can learn and not make the entire country homogeneous. Each city is unique, and we should have that uniqueness uh, like still alive.
Point well taken, Mr. Chatterjee. Moving on, Mr. Dave, what would you like to say?
Yeah, sure. Great points by Nikhil and Abhishek. And Nikhil actually took away one of my point of ICCCs. So, anyways, the smart city projects that were taken up by city were very, very diverse. And it was not mandated by the ministry that they have to work on energy or only infrastructure or only public spaces or digital infrastructure. The city came up with its own need. They identified their own needs and prioritized them, and then took up projects. Of course, during the COVID times, those were tough times for everyone, and the integrated command and control systems had become the war room, and the hospital logistics and ambulances, all of it was managed through the ICCCs. There have been projects that saved countless lives, such as the Green Corridor. That project was that innovation came from the city of Vadodara, wherein they aligned the tech to serve the people. For example, if any ambulance has to reach to the hospital, they just clear up the way through tech. And there have been diverse projects focusing on the walkability and pedestrianization of Indore Chappan Dukan. If anyone is from Indore, would just give me a shout out. Do we have? Yeah, I think, but I'd recommend people to visit there. There have been projects on lake rejuvenation, and I don't think in any other part of the world,
we have a
we have somebody from Indore, yeah.
sponsored scheme has. Utkarsh is from.
I am not from Indore, but I recently visited Indore, so I've seen Chappan Dukan and all that stuff, and I've seen the renovations. So yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Dave, for
earlier
your
that
point.
Space used to be also, that space was also open to, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Dave. I'm so sorry to cut you short, but in the interest of time, we'll have to move on to the audience discussion now. So now I would like to open the floor for the audience for any questions that you have. Please virtually raise your hand if you have a question, and let's begin. Yes, DTM Anant, please go ahead with your question.
So simple question, but kind of curious to know. In terms of challenges when it comes to prioritizing factors for smart city, what is the number one challenge or number two, number three challenges in terms of waste management or sanitation or drinking water or road and safety or CCTVs, traffic management? What exactly are the priority list?
Sure, thank you, Anant. I would like Mr. Shivam to take up this question. Please go ahead.
I wasn't able to fully listen to what Anantji was saying. I am facing some bandwidth issues. Request him to kindly repeat the question. Sure.
So question is, what are the prioritized list of items in terms of smart city planning? So waste management or water management or road and transport versus these internet bandwidth. What are the priority list items?
So all the cities have their own priority lists, and they have come ground up. So, for example, if you see a small city of Dahod, that also is a smart city, and it is a tier 3 smart city. So for them, they prioritize building roads and rejuvenating the Dhan lake that they have within the city. So that lake is so big, it covers 20% area of that city. And it was earlier, that place that used to be very, very polluted. Okay, that's the green card from me.
No, so, you can go ahead, Shivam.
That's for overall.
Okay. So so the SPV, that special purpose vehicle, decided to rejuvenate that lake, and now that place has become a vibrant public space. So all the cities, because they all have their own different culture, they develop their own priorities, and all these sectors are encompassed into it.
Overall, when you talk about India, in general, I'm asking, encompassing all the 100 to 100 smart city projects, what is the number one challenge? If you can throw some.
If Shivam is okay with it, I would like Mr. Shah to take up this question. What do you think?
I think the number one challenge is I think what Shivam said is that there was also a little bit of bottom-up kind of planning in the initial stages of the mission. But at the later stages, what we realized that a lot of things started to operate in a very centralized manner as well. So sometimes even when we talk about people who are technology experts or technology teams in cities, a lot of times they did not have capacities to understand the technology and how does it really address the issues in that specific city. So what ended up happening is that you have these platforms, digital platforms per se. So there's we commonly sort of refer to as platform urbanism, but so there are these array of platforms and technology systems, but there is a disjunct between the problem of the city itself. So you have a solution, but that solution doesn't really address your needs of the city. So I think that was one of the real challenges what we faced, and also identifying continuous participatory kind of planning, considering the needs of this specific city, is something which became like a big challenge at the later stages of the mission. So,
Thank you,
yeah.
Mr. Shah. Thank you so much. We would like to move on to the next question. I think Mr. Gaurang has a question. Please go ahead, Gaurang.
Hi. So in the beginning, it was mentioned, right? We'll have a person to count the number of hours and pauses. There should also have been a person who would count the number of smarts in this time, right? The way we've used. And once you start using a word so often, you kind of start to, miss the meaning of it. You kind of, start getting into a zone where you don't really understand what that word is anymore. So my question is exactly on that. What do you mean by a smart city? Because I understand from the discussion is that, okay, one project is maybe one areas of improvement is identified for a city, and they work on it, and then they call it smart city. Is that what the message you are trying to relay? Or is it something like, okay, there are 4 or 5 parameters like travel time maybe for the commuters, or maybe it could be sewage or water, water solutions. It could be maybe waste management. It could be, smart solutions for cities like Bangalore, for example, right now, which is facing a water crisis because of the improper maybe water management, right? They are not storing, even though they have rain almost entirely throughout the year, they're still facing
Mr.
water
Gaurang,
crisis.
yes, your question is well taken.
Yeah.
Thank you. I would like to direct this question to Mr. Chatterjee, and Mr. Chatterjee, I would request you to keep it very succinct in the interest of time. Please go ahead.
Right. So as we discussed earlier, also the meaning of smart is very subjective, right? And in the initial period, they all had given vision document. So smart cities developed as a very competitive federalism kind of concept, and every city kind of gave their vision document. And this vision document had their own version of what they mean by smart. So when we are talking about top-down approach, each project actually adds up to the entire vision of making it smart. So it is not just one project which is adding and making it smart, but the entire chunk of projects which together makes it a smart city. So as Nikhil already said, there has been a lot of homogenization of the entire cities. But in the initial period, it started as a very different heterogeneous concept of making each city in their own way smart. So I think that answered your question, Gaurang.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Chatterjee. Unfortunately, I would love to go on with this discussion for a longer time, but in the interest of time, we will have to move on. So from our discussion today, I would just say that let us reflect on the multifaceted nature of smart cities in this Indian context. And I believe it is safe to say that smart city is not just a model for technology-enabled city. Rather, it is a vision for an adaptive city that responds to and grows with the citizens. Thank you to our esteemed panelists and our audience for engaging in this enriching dialogue. Let's continue to strive towards building not only smarter, but more inclusive and resilient cities in India. Due to scheduling, some of our panelists might have to leave now as well. However, I will be sharing their contact details in the chat box for anyone who would like to interact with them later on as well. Thank you so much, everybody, and over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much.
Fantastically done, Shaurya and his team. We thank all the panelists sincerely. Mr. Chatterjee, Mr. Shah, and Mr. Dave, thank you so much for your esteemed insights. The session was really, really engaging, and I could see the people who had their videos on, they were listening intently and perhaps thinking in their own mind, just like me, about our own hometowns, how they could be transformed into smart cities and what kind of challenges we must be going through. Shaurya, brilliantly selected topic and so relevant in terms of what we are hearing in the news about Bangalore, Hyderabad, etc. today. Thank you so much. Audience, in the interest of time, I will not have a 1 minute silence for you to pass on your feedback privately to Shaurya. However, feel free to do so in between the proceedings. I will now invite the table topic master for the session today, our Vice President Education, Neeraj Singla, to conduct a really fun-filled, thrilling table topic session. Guests, this is a session for you. The way it will happen is you have to raise your hand. And the one who raised their hand first, in terms of those who haven't got a chance to speak, they will get priority. Neeraj will help you actively in that. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Anant. Now, today you have learned about Pi and then smart city. I am sure this is gonna be very easy for you. Please raise your hand. I'm going to give some impromptu topics to you. You have to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. I encourage everyone to participate in this actively. Okay, I don't see any hand, then I will have to pick by myself. Mandeep, quick audio video click.
Amit raised his hand. And do raise virtual hands, people, not hands on screen, might not be visible. So Amit raised his hand, but he is our counter. So let's prioritize someone who hasn't got a chance to speak.
Okay, then let's call Mandeep.
Yeah, hi Neeraj, I'm here.
Okay, Mandeep, topic for you. How do you explain pi to someone who have never heard it before? How do you explain pi to someone who have never heard it before, Mandeep?
Have you ever tried pie? No, I'm not talking about the one that is very tasty to eat. It's actually, how could I explain? This is a mathematical expression that we learned in school. Are you getting my thing, what I'm trying to say? It's a different pie. Madam Toastmaster, oh my God, what a difficult task that you have given to me to explain pie to someone who don't know what is pie. I remember when I first witnessed this term pie, I think I was in class standard 6 when my teacher told me today we are going to learn something about pie. And we had a lot of discussion about it, what it would be. But the moment we get to know this is something with a very nice expression and it has a certain value, it made me surprised. Because these are kind of two straight line, one sleeping line together. What we have learned in our KG class. And now these guys are saying when we combine this together, we call it pi and it has some value. So if you tell me to explain it to someone, I would say I'm also confused. How could I explain it to someone? But of course, I hope someday I could have those great communication lessons with me so I could make this thing understand to others. Thank you and over to you.
Very well said, Mandeep. Maybe you can pass this meeting's video to the other person. So I think this today's meeting is very much explanatory on pi. Now I would like to call Gaurang.
Hey, hi. Just a quick mic check, and am I visible?
You are audible and visible.
Yeah.
if you get chance to meet mathematician who invented pi, what would you say to him? If you get chance to meet mathematician who invented pi, what would you say to him, Gaurang?
Okay, so if I am meeting a mathematician here, I would firstly ask him, dude, what is going on in your mind all the time that you're imagining about such things? Because usually, if you see, right, in our daily, routines, we usually do not get these ideas, right? That, if an apple falls from a tree, we're not thinking about, okay, what's driving this? What's causing it to, drop down and not go up? So that sense of imagination, that sense of drive towards knowing things is something probably that is a bit missing in us, or maybe it's not yet that developed, right? That curiosity, maybe it might have come from their childhood, it might have developed as they reach elder ages, but I believe that sense of inquisitiveness, that sense of how to find out things, how to deliver some answers, how to get not just be stuck at questions, but run behind a problem and get a solution. That sense of drive, that sense of enthusiasm, that sense of fighting the failures, that is, I believe, that's something that I'll 100% go run behind them and get the answer for. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gaurang, for attempting this table topic. You did really great job being first timer.
Thank you.
Now I would like to call Tamanna. Tamanna, you there? I think she left. Okay.
Tamanna dropped.
Okay, now Shivam, quick audio video check.
Hi. Yeah, so is my voice yeah. Hi.
You're audible and
So
visible.
actually, yes.
So, Shivam, good things come to those who wait. How do you explain this to a bachelor? Good thing come to those who wait. How do you explain this to a bachelor? Shivam.
So good things who comes for those who wait. So what I will be saying to a bachelor, so once you are finding a guy or a girl for your the 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 partner thing, so you can analyze that what you want to see into him or her, and you can also see that either your let's say the vibe checking is there, the communication is there, the timing is there, and even I have also done the same thing. And actually, what I believe that once you see a person, right, so you can even think that okay, like he or she can be mine, okay. And what I believe that people should use their heart and mind both while choosing a partner for them, because actually love is all about the understanding that you do with your heart and mind. So that's my set of answer for this. What I can tell to a bachelor.
I hope, Shivam, this message can be reached to all the bachelors in this country. Thank you so much for attempting this. Anant, do I have a time to take one more table topic?
I think we can have a couple of more.
Okay. Then, Priyesh. Quick audio video check.
Okay. Can you see me? Sorry, I'm on a bus. I'm audible.
Yes, you're audible and visible.
Okay.
And in US.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Priyesh, if your life had a theme song, what it would be? If your life had a theme song, what it would be, Priyesh?
Okay. So I'm not good with songs. I would say that's the first one because I'm really not sure which song to pick. Uh, the but I'll pick one which I used to like during my before like 7 8 years before my undergrad college. That would be Lakshya and that the title song of that Lakshya. Um, I really liked it because that was the time I paid in a lot of things, and still I have to keep my focus on that one thing and continuously push myself so that when uh, I'm really not getting results over what I want to achieve in life. So continuously trying hard for something and not losing focus and putting effort every day is something that I work really towards for. That's one. There's one more that's Nights Out by Avicii. I really like because that one as well because it has a line something like one day my father told me never lose this day, like just enjoy every day, something like that. So that is also one thing I want to really follow by to enjoy every moment of my life, travel around, meet new people, enjoy different cultures. So that is something I'm looking forward to. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Priyesh. You might didn't find the song, but I get your feelings. Don't worry. Thank you so much. Now I would like to call Amit. Amit, you raise your hand. Quick audio check.
Am I audible or visible?
Yes, Amit.
Okay.
Amit, I know you are married now. I hope your wife is not around. Tell
Yes.
us about your first date. Tell us about your first date, Amit.
Okay. Okay. So, okay, it was, I think it was college first year. I just like I am from mechanical engineer. So she was from civil, and I just like in first day I met her. We were finding a library and all cards were trying to do, and I met her. Then after talking 1 or 2 day, we decided to go visit a market. I won't say it is a date, but we go there and we try to buy something from that market. So it was a nice day. We wander here and there in the market. In the market, we had ice cream, and the thing is that she was from Bihar, so she wanna try that street food chole bhature. So we had that, and it was nice conversation with her. So that was the thing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amit.
This
Now
is
I will share the
very,
recording.
very
Yeah.
hard topic.
Don't worry, I will share the recording of this video to your wife. Nothing is so hard, for me at least. Okay, now please raise your hand, folks.
Final topic.
Okay, Aprajita. Aprajita, what are 3 mistakes of your life? What are 3 mistakes of your life, Aprajita?
3 mistakes of my life. Actually, there are several mistakes I have done in my bachelor's and in my school times, but I have been in the zone where it was like, if you are not going to learn from your mistakes, then how are you going to learn from it? So my very first mistake is that it's okay to fail, but retry again. Never to give up hope. And this is especially in my academics. When I have to go through exams, I have to learn some topics and you give the ratifying those topics and give it in a word to word answers. And I was like, okay, this time I haven't done it properly. Next time I will give the exam. No problem. Second mistake, I have attempted to change my graduation subjects from because I was focusing for my chartered accountancy, and then eventually I said that, okay, I don't like accounts as per I like economics. So I dropped out from my BCom, and then I done it for my bachelor's in economics. So, and third is that it's okay to express if you feel love for someone. It's okay not to hide it, because this is the time, and if you are not going to express it, then when you will express it? In your 90s. So that's the only 3 mistakes which are highlighted for me. That's it.
Thank you so much, Prajita. Don't worry, we all do this kind of mistakes. It's very small mistakes. Okay, now we are over the time. Thank you so much, everyone, for actively participating. Now I would like to call back again our Toastmaster of the evening, Anant, on the stage.
Thank you so much, Neeraj. As the thought was quite evident from the chat section, today happens to be one of the most frolicking table topics session so far in the past few meetings. Great job done. And all the accolades must be provided to all our courageous participants as well. Good job, guys. Utkarsh, let me know if you have table topics poll ready. We can launch it right now, because in the other categories we don't have quite the number of vacancies. So for prepared speeches and evaluations, we won't have a poll. But if table topics, you could prepare a poll, we will have it. Else we will have it in the presiding officer moment. For now,
the polls will be up in 30 seconds.
Perfect. So while you launch the poll, I have a parting thought for everyone before I invite the general evaluator on stage. And the thought is, remember, pi is such a small number. I mean, it's basically 3.14 something something. More than 3, less than 4. What more is there to be observed or seen or be fascinated around it? The very fact that it's a small thing, and yet it has infinitesimal possibilities inside of it. A supercomputer will crash beyond maybe a billionth or trillionth of decimal place, because even there, it won't find a repetitive pattern. It has a uniqueness to it. It has an eternal element to it. Every decimal place will have a new pattern emerging and forming. Imagine if you turn this number into a civil construction. Probably, let's say, a tile design, a vertical design, and if you lay them across a plain ground, you will see so many diverse kind of architectures around. Why? Because it has the often repeated but seldomly understood term called innovation inside this number. As today we mark our 350th meeting, aren't we just like pi? We may have begun with probably the very similar kind of structure every meeting in the first few meetings, but moving on, more people came, brought their innovative sides to the meeting. While the format remained the same, the novelty factor kept multiplying. Today, as we are at 350th decimal place beyond the 3.14, it's not the end. Probably I will not be able to tell you when we will have exhausted all the kinds of beautiful speech possibilities, all the different takes on similar looking roles or meeting shenanigans. We will keep innovating, we will keep reinvigorating, and every time there will be a new flavor to this meeting called Toastmasters. On that thought, I invite our evaluation team under the guidance of General Evaluator, who are the reason why we are able to bring this innovation in the first place. Let's have our General Evaluator, Utkarsh, to facilitate this terrific session called Evaluations.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Anand, for this rollicking theme and this wonderful meeting that we are having. But for now, it's time that we start with our comprehensive evaluation and feedback so that everyone grows in their journey as a public speaker. First and foremost, may I request to invite our Madam Speech Evaluator, Toastmaster Priyanka Mishra, to come forward and give her insights on that fabulous panel discussion that we had by our moderator, Toastmaster Shaurya. Toastmaster Priyanka, over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. First of all, let us give a round of applause for modulating such a great panel today. We have a great panelist in our room, Toastmaster Shaurya, and we can really take your help in one of the panel discussions in future discussions in division level or area level. We often have such discussions. You can definitely go ahead and participate. Great enthusiasm. Congratulations, Shaurya. So what I liked about your the whole overall discussion, first of all, the topic, smart city. It's very, I would say, interesting. And if I say interesting, it will be little diminishing. Rather, I'll say everybody is talking about it. It's very live because you did not take any topic related to life or something boring, something which everybody can contribute and which everybody can think about. Great choice of topic. Second, the introduction. That was the best way to start a panel. What are you going to talk about? What is this about? You kept the introduction at the starting of the panel discussion. Great. Third, the moderation. The way you were moderating after each speaker, the way you were taking control rather than going in a havoc or going in the flow of and wasting time. Rather, you were taking the control from the panelists and you were going back to the discussion. That modulation is really needed in a moderator, and that you had. If you're giving for the first time, kudos to you, Shaurya. You're doing really well in that in those regards. Apart from that, the questions were open-ended questions. That's what we're looking for in a panel discussion. You were making the panelists to talk about it, and that could go as an essay. You can talk a lot about it. They were thought-provoking. That is great job over there. A few suggestions for you to make it more, already it is going great. How to make it more interesting, more enticing. First of all, the introduction of the panelists. It was given by Anant. Since we had a lot of time, we had 40 minutes for video. Actually, I mean, the moderators should introduce the panelists. That's how it should be, according to me. And when you introduce the panelist, you need not to tell everything about the panelist. You can tell the minimal things which are interesting about them and little background, like that. The second thing, know your audience. People sitting in the room, they do not know much about the smart city. So when you pick questions, that mean you cannot take questions which are very technical. You have to make it little simpler. I'm running out of time, but I have few more points. Third, the conclusion. I was expecting a strong conclusion, really. You could have done better. You concluded well, but you have a lot of time, Shaurya. You could have done, if you could have taken 10 more minutes. So conclusion, ideally, conclusion should be the summary of the whole panel discussion. Rather than having a single line, what exactly you were looking for. What has been discussed, you are summarizing like a chat GPT. You are summarizing what exactly has happened. Fourth, please smile throughout the panel discussion. I was missing it. You did it. Actually, I saw this beautiful smile later in the discussion, but why not in the starting? Your beautiful smile. Please bring it up. So overall, great discussion, great panel discussion, Shaurya. You're a really good moderator. You're keeping interesting. You're bringing the interesting topics. You're making relatable with the audience. You're including the audience. Few suggestions. First of all, smile. Second, conclude well. Try to relate more with the audience. Make it more simpler. And the last, keep doing it. What you're doing. You're good. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Madam Speech Evaluator. I kind of feel that Toastmaster Priyanka is the perfect template of how one should evaluate. She's always very, very relatable, very precise, and gives accurate feedback and not fabricated ones. Very well done, Toastmaster Priyanka. I have nothing to add. All right, it's time for me to move on to my tag team. How about I start in the reverse order and I bring on our grammarian for the day, Toastmaster Anshuman, on the virtual stage.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Utkarsh. I had a pretty busy evening today, and thank you, Toastmaster Srishti, for sharing your insights as I joined 10 minutes late to the meeting. And with the combined notes that we have, sharing some good usages and not so good usages of phrases and words we had today evening. From good usage standpoint, I was tired taking notes, but quite a few gems from the panel discussion and the team watch session we had today, including from your professional experience, distinguish it from Western context, starting from the word itself. There is no one single definition. It has its roots. Uniqueness of any city lies in its history. Maintain a balance. I think if we go through the recording back again, we'll find so many gems from the smart discussion we had on smart cities and the smart topic shared by distinguished Toastmaster Anant. While there was a lot of good usages, there were usages which could be made better, which includes pi was encountered, uh, was to be pi was discovered in the context. An rectangular palace could be a rectangular palace. Must have spoke should have been must have spoken. And there was a pronunciation feedback. Square is pronounced as square, not squire. Squire is a kind of soldier. This is a specific note by Toastmaster Srishti, which I'm just narrating like as it has been shared with me. The word of the day, emulate, as much as I could note down, was not used today. However, let's try and emulate the word of the day and use it in our daily reference. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Utkarsh.
Thank you so much, Mr. Grammarian. It's time for me to move on to our counter of the day, Toastmaster Amit. I request Toastmaster Amit to present his report.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are. Please go ahead.
Please give me a share access.
You have the access now.
Wait. Okay, so I'm ready with my counter report. Just like we have a panel today. So Soria Chauhan used and more than 5 times, and so 2 times. Nikhil Shah, he was. I like that when he was speaking, he has a very good smile, and he used more than 5 times, and so more than 5 times. Abhishek Chatterjee used and more than 5 times, and so 4 times. Shivam Dave used and more than 5 times, and so uh, and used 4 times. He used one double clutch, and in table topics, Mandeep has very smooth. She don't use any filler words. Gaurang used but 2 times, and he used many times, more than 5 times, and he has a double clutch. Shivam Shivam used 4 times A&M and 4 times so, and one long pauses. Sorry, it is used by Priyesh. Priyesh used A&M more than 5 times and 4 times, and in the beginning of table topic he stopped for a while, so long pause. Aparajita used I&M 4 times and 3 times. Our evaluator Priyanka Mitra used I&M 3 times, and our sergeant at arms used I&M 3 times, Presiding officer used 2 times INM, 3 times like and you know. She has double clutch like yeah 2 times, and yeah, other thing like she used now for long time now. And third one is Toastmaster of the day. He used INM more 4 times, and when he used how, see he tends to repeat it 2 and 3 times. How about this? And in the table topics, uh, uh, in the topics, Neeraj used INM more than 4 times. This is my report.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Amit. Quick feedback for you, a takeaway. Firstly, if you require the access for the sharing, I request you to please inform us well in advance. And secondly, I request you to not share your screen if you're connected via mobile, because it's very difficult to handle it and read it, and it was not visible properly. And nonetheless, very detailed report. Thank you so much. And one quick takeaway for our grammarian as well. Like the problem with the word of the day, like no one really used it, is because we could have ideally shared it again and again, especially and most importantly when the table topics were going on. So that is one takeaway for you, Toastmaster Anshuman. Thank you. And finally, we move on to our final tag role play, which is the timer of the day. I request Toastmaster Ravi to share his report as well.
Hi, I'm audible.
Yes, you are. Please go ahead.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so most means all of them were in time, but Priyanka has exceeded the time. It was 4 minutes and 27 seconds. Other than this, all were in time. So that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ravi. A quick takeaway for you. If you are presenting your report, I request you to read out everyone's timing specifically and then talk about who's disqualified or not. Otherwise, the detailed report was very aptly done. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ravi. Can we have a huge round of applause for all the tag role players? And of course, our Madam Speech Evaluator. All right. In the interest of time, I'll be very brief and quick with my evaluation. The meeting, of course, started at 7 p.m. bang on time. This has always been the hallmark of DPTM, and I'm so glad that we kept it live. Beginning with Madam Sergeant at Arms, she read the rules eloquently, so well done in that respect. But the only feedback that I could give you is when it comes to the introduction of the presiding officer, I feel that you kind of could have done a bit more preparation for it. Like you said, that it's been a year since Toastmaster leader joined Toastmasters Club. So be specific, like Turning Point Toastmasters Club. So there were few hiccups here and there. Otherwise, I think this is your first time as a Sergeant at Arms, and in that respect, you have done exceedingly well. Kudos to you. Moving on to the presiding officer, you are improving by leaps and bounds. And whenever I give you any kind of responsibility, or the club gives you any kind of responsibility, you took it with your both hands and do it such a fantastic job. And I feel that with time you will get a hang of it and improve much more. The only feedback that I could give you is that you should have much more smoother transitions. Like you begin with the meeting, welcoming everyone, you went on to introducing the guests, and then you started with the theme. So I felt like the transitions were a bit sudden. So try to have some connectors and make it a smooth ride. That is all. Coming to our very lovely Toastmaster of the day, what I loved the most is that you didn't make the theme abstract or academic. All of us are not mathematicians here or have an interest in maths. You toned it down for all of us, and certainly for a layman like me. Few things that we definitely should learn from a seasoned Toastmaster like Anant. It's not just about presenting your theme. You are a host as well for the meeting, as you are the Toastmaster of the day. So you have to be street smart and be ready to step in whenever required for the meeting so that the meeting runs smoothly. So when Toastmaster Shaurya, say, dropped off during the panel discussion due to network issues, he made sure that the panel session kept on going and moving forward. So that is the kind of street smartness you have when you're playing the host. And the way he used and shared his screen and illustrate everything, it made it extra special. So these are the little nudges, the efforts that you can make as a Toastmaster of the day, and that will make you stand out in your role. One minor thing though, Toastmaster Anant, in the whole elaborative introductions of the panel members, you skipped announcing the speaker's title. So that's about it. Extremely well presented and so much learning for all of us. Table topic master, Toastmaster Neeraj. I felt there were a few pronunciation issues and grammar issues. Like if you're not sure of someone's pronunciation, especially their name, how about you ask them? Like you pronounce Gorang as Gorang. So you try to ask them if you're not sure about them, or the other person can correct you, because speaking the right name is very, very important. Two things for you. I wish that you could be a little more energetic and be connected with your speaker, especially after the speech has ended. And secondly, there's a fixed template when you call a speaker on stage and give them a table topic. You ask for an audio video check, and then you say the topic name, speaker name, and then topic. Did I say it right? The speaker name, topic, and speaker name. Yeah, that's all. So otherwise, very fluent, very well done. Do I have time to give table topic evaluations? All right, so that's about it. That's all from my side. Back to you, the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Anant.
Thank you so much, Utkarsh. And not to disappoint anyone, if you are looking forward to your table topic feedback, you can drop a personal message to Utkarsh and he will type it back for you in brief. For now, I have something special to share with all of you, and that is when it comes to Pi, how can we skip my favorite actor Irfan Khan's movie Life of Pi? Remember? So in the Life of Pi, there is a scene where Mr. Paiseen Patel, just to avoid this moniker of Paiseen and convert it into Pi, goes on a challenge. And that was about 100 years ago, right? In the fictional world. And the challenge was he memorized the digits of Pi, and see what kind of spectacle it made in that particular movie. Let me know if you are able to listen to the voice.
Paiseen Patel.
Good morning. I am Paiseen Molitor Patel, known to all as Pi, the 16th letter of the Greek alphabet, which is also used in mathematics to represent the ratio of any circle's circumference to its diameter. An irrational number of infinite length, usually rounded to 3 digits, as 3.14 pi.
Very impressive. Hi. Now sit down. R. Velusamy.
And from then on, you're a pi.
Well, no, not quite. Nice try, PC. But I still had the whole day ahead of me. French class was next.
Je m'appelle Paiseen Molitor Patel. Did pi.
Then geography.
These are the first 20 decimal places of pi.
My last class of the day was mathematics.
Story! 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 Story!
That's right. He's really doing this.
By the end of that day, I was...
See the kind of lengths people go to prove their mathematical genius, taking the help from our magical element called pi. Enough of show off. Time now to conclude the theme and wishing everyone a happy 350th once again. Handing it now back to our presiding officer, Madam VP Education, Neeraj Singla. Neeraj, all yours. There, Neeraj.
Thank you so much, Anant, Katyayni. A big round of applause for our yeah. Am I audible? Okay.
Voice is breaking.
Thank you so much, Anant,
Voice is
Katyayni.
slightly
A
breaking.
big round of applause for our Toastmaster of the evening. It takes a lot to bring. Oh, Okay, should I change my connection?
Perfect now. Go on.
Give me some. Okay. So I was saying it takes a lot to bring so many things and in depth on the table. The hard work that you put behind this team, it was amazing. Thank you so much for that. Apart from that, I would like to give shout out to few players, Aprajita, who did her role for the first time. And I must say, whatever role you do, you just nail it. And then to Utkarsh and their entire team who give the feedback wholeheartedly with so much, spices that you brought on the table. A big round of applause for Utkarsh and their entire team. Am I audible? I am still confused.
You are. Go on.
Okay. Okay. I was not getting any response, so I thought so. Okay. Please vote for the best auxiliary role player. Okay, now it's time to take feedback. Let's start with Gaurang. Gaurang, did I say it right? Your name?
Yes, you perfectly pronounced my name. Thank you. Pronounce my name. Yeah.
Okay. Gaurang, so how was the experience for you? Any feedback or anything that you would like to share?
Nothing in particular, but I really like the way, the session is conducted. Just the way it started off, I thought it was going to be a discussion on a topic and just, we'll have a quick round of people speaking up and then we'll be done. But it turned out to be very much more interactive, and also the insights that have come up at the end of the session, particularly after we've all spoken our hearts, is something that I do not see, at least in the circles or in the environment that we live in the corporate environment mostly that we are all in. So it's a very open environment for me. It was really nice to see that we're all open in terms of getting the criticisms in a positive way, of course, getting the feedbacks and the pluses and the minuses. So that's a really open and nice space to be in, honestly, to to know yourself and to evaluate yourself and get to know people and interact with them. Of course, that's a really big bonus. So overall, I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gaurang, for your valuable feedback and insights, of course. Looking forward to see you in next meetings as well.
Sure.
Now, thank you. Shivam, quick audio video check.
So I would like to say that it was a very nice session. But yes, I really got to know about the experiences and about the information that was shared today, and it was quite good. Yeah, I really enjoyed the whole session, and yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much, Shivam, for your feedback. Now, Mandeep, if you can share feedback, how was your experience?
Yeah, sure, Neeraj. Firstly, I would say, as always, it's been a pleasure joining this meeting today. I would thank Srishti for inviting me. And I think today was a very interesting thing that happened, that panel discussion. I was thinking, is that the project that I should also do as my elective or not? So I was brainstorming at that time. I was thinking about the other ideas that could be done. So yeah, it was a very nice session overall. I enjoyed a lot. And especially your table topics were really nice, Neeraj, I would say. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you so much, Mandeep. You found this meeting useful and your feedback. Now, I think I have covered all the guests. Utkarsh, do we have? Okay. Now it's time for the results of polls. I will start with best table topic speaker. Anybody would like to guess? You can at least raise hand for yourself, if not for other. Okay, let me break the suspense. It's Aprajita. A very, very big round of applause for her. Oh, now best auxiliary role player again goes to Aprajita. What a great victory, Aprajita. Now,
there's a mistake. I'm sorry. The best auxiliary role player is Toastmaster Anshuman, who's the grammarian. I apologize for my mistake.
Okay. Anshuman, my mentor.
And Toastmaster Srishti. I'll share the reward with you, Toastmaster. Whatever we get.
Okay. Then comes the third award, goes to best role player. It's so obvious, but I would like you to guess.
It should go to Neeraj today, by the way.
Anand.
Jaspreet.
Anant.
Anand.
Utkarsh, you shared the results, and it's Utkarsh. So,
But today, true winner was really Neeraj by the audience feedback in the chat section. So Neeraj, good job.
Thank you.
Everyone is a winner at TPTM.
You all are winners.
Let's switch the recording off, Utkarsh.